Now, have you ever found yourself in a romantic situation, maybe even a long-term relationship, and you give him everything, and then you're left with nothing but a shell of your previous self, and you feel more powerless, lacking more confidence than ever before, and you still thought that he was your ultimate soulmate or twin flame? I know, my sister, it's humbling. You feel drained and super confused as to why this has happened to you. Well, he could be a narcissistic man. Now, despite their seemingly unbreakable armor, narcissistic men are actually very vulnerable people beneath it all. They're just brilliant at hiding their tenderness, their divine feminine essence from women. They use layers of manipulation, scare tactics, lies, unhealthy behaviors, and possibly playing around with your heart in a lethal way. Here are the 7 signs so you can tell for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go.
But first, there are 2 things you should know before asking, is he a narcissist? The first is that though clinical psychotherapists may disagree with this, I feel that there is a whole spectrum versus an exact line as to whether or not you can label someone as a narcissist. Yes, there is a clinical definition of narcissistic personality disorder where a person has distorted senses of self-importance and grandiose thoughts about their social value or importance. But I believe that we all have a little narcissistic energy within us. It's normal. In fact, both my partner and I have had elements of narcissism in our relationship that we did have to work through before getting married. Life happens. Sometimes things are messy. However, when we notice that someone has many of these signs and it's really destructive in the partnership, or you have a pattern of this in all your partnerships, it's time to do your homework. So the second thing is that we are awakening to a more narcissistic society. There are so many free videos that we can take instantly. We can go on social media. We can post airbrush travel photos. We can feel like a celeb, a millionaire. We can get this puffed up narcissistic ego version of ourselves. It's easy to do that. So that's why it's also important to have this conversation so we can heal this within ourselves. Now, the earth is in a dire need for humanity to heal her. In 1 decade, we destroyed half of the population of African elephants due to ivory trade. And within 10 to 15 years, we may not have a single living elephant in the wild unless we do something. So as you look at these 7 signs of the narcissistic man, I want you to heal yourself. Look at yourself. Look at the side of you that perhaps has broken your own boundaries and has not valued herself. Let's call this in. All right, sister. So here are the 7 signs of the narcissistic man. The first one is that he has no boundaries and he doesn't want you to have any. If you don't set your boundaries, you'll be victimized by narcissists. Narcissistic energy cords into the chakras and leaches energy like an energy vampire when we don't set boundaries. Similarly with emotions, with getting attention, physical space, they'll break boundaries on your finances, pretty much energy. So we have to put those guidelines and boundaries in and know what we need, as well as setting psychic protection. Now, the second sign is he feeds off of her insecurity. He likes to make her wrong. He feels entitled to put her down, keeping her small. Now, he's attracted to women who are desperate, lonely, longing for love, and she's likely to attract someone like him because he loves her neediness and at the same time is repulsed by it because he had a mother who was super needy and he also didn't like that. So he's confused. He tends to look for someone similar to his mother. So with this mother wound, he can have this codependent energy and also have this repulsion energy. So what he needs to do is heal his mother wounds, and what we women need to do is to step up into our security and heal our father wounds. Now, a lot of times macho men who put those women down, they're an example of this. They're actually longing for motherly love from a deep, secure, and empowered mother. So they abandon and heartbreak women over and over again. But what we need to do is be strong and take responsibility as women for our own insecurities and heal our divine feminine wounds. The third sign is he manipulates and takes without giving, and he justifies it every time. He attracts that overgiver. That's his target. He feels entitled to taking. He actually doesn't feel strong in himself. He doesn't know how to operate in the world without a woman's presence, though he would be the last to admit that. These manipulators often sleep around with women, energetically taking, or they're in serial monogamy taking. These narcissistic men are unhealed with mother wounds because that lack of boundaries that created an either overly attached mother or underly and detached mother created a narcissist who's a overgiver, overtaker. He tells you what he wants you to hear. We believe the lies. It ultimately comes down to he doesn't feel good enough. So when we strengthen ourselves, lady, we feel good enough. We can set those boundaries and we cannot be duped. Now, sign number 4 is that he leads you to believe that he can give you the whole fairy tale, but he never really does it. The narcissist man needs his woman to believe that he'll soon bring her what she wants. He has this little bait and thus attracts women who are often hopeless romantics, believers in fantasies. They're dreamers, but deep down these women are wounded by the patriarchy and they lack self-esteem, so they believe in fantasy instead. They don't know that they can actually manifest what they deserve. So they live in the fairy tale waiting for Prince Charming, but they don't feel good enough. So they settle for fakes. The 5th sign is that he's not a truth teller. He tells lies or he does whatever it takes to get his way. He does this because deep down he doesn't feel good enough to face the truth. He feels that without embellishing a little or perhaps a lot, he's not good enough. So he builds up a puffed up false ego that he hopes will attract women in awe of him. Now, if this is you, if you've been duped by a liar, you'll want to ask yourself, where do I feel small? And where have I been lying to myself? Where have I not been looking at the truth? So this type of man is magnetized to women who are naive and innocent and sweet. So make the effort, girl, to educate yourself about your circumstances. Step in your power and ask for what you are worth, because you are worth it. And if this man can't give it to you, honey, the right one will. Now, the 6th sign of the narcissistic man is the lack of empathy. He lacks empathy. You're an empath. You're feeling for 2, baby. Where he can't feel, you're holding the space for the emotional intelligence in the relationship. You're doing his job, but your job actually needs to be as an empath is to feel your own feelings and not get stuck and absorbed in how everybody else is doing. I know it's easier said than done, sister. As an empathic female, I know what's up. But we need to start taking care of ourselves, our own emotions, taking them seriously, saying no. This is what's going to stop attracting the narcissists who don't have capacity for empathy. The last sign, number 7, he's perfectionist. Now, whether or not he's trying to be perfect himself, he puts pressure on you. Either way, it might be verbal, it might be just that feeling. He wants the perfect woman. He's controlling. He seeks perfection. He projects this onto you. So maybe you diet to have that perfect little body for him. You say or do things to impress him or become an overachiever just for him. If you're a perfectionist, it's time to break the cycle by choosing to care about internal experiences versus external appearances. Focus on self-love, and it's certain that you'll no longer magnetize this type of man. Now, woman, let me know how you felt hearing this list. Have you dated a narcissist? And why do you think you attracted him? What are you doing now to boost your self-worth and to prevent these patterns from showing up again? I would love to know in the comments below. Now, I wanted to say one last thing. It's really important about the elephants. Elephants are a sign of the divine feminine. And while the divine feminine is awakening rapidly within us, we're running out of time. We need to remain calm and positive, but we can't keep waiting. We have to let go of our perfectionist ways and take massive action to save this planet. We must love ourselves first and feed the feminine and heal our divine feminine wounds. This is the top priority, and we also have to say no to anyone who mistreats us and nurture those little children and set those healthy boundaries to create a strong sense of self in our children. Now, one of my favorite things is to donate a percentage of my income to saving the elephants. Click the link below in the description box to donate to the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust and help an orphaned baby elephant rehabilitate. Your contribution is not only awesome, a cause for African wildlife, but it's a cause for healing the divine feminine wounds within us all. Thank you so much, my beloved friend. Stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, as I'll be releasing more videos this week about narcissistic patterns in men. And after that, I'll be posting about some healing topics that I've been working on around the divine feminine wounds. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I feel it's time to release this body of work. So thanks for dropping in. Give a like if you want to support my channel. I love that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste, namaste.